It's 7 o'clock. I'll call this meeting to order. This is the Breezy Point City Council for October 5th, 2020. First order of business is the Pledge Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, welcome everybody on such a beautiful day. We don't have too many of these more left, so enjoy them while you can. Our first item is the consent agenda. You have the council minutes from September 8th, 2020. We have approval of claims totaling $193,580.50, which includes electronic checks 2615E through 2616E, 2625E, and paper checks 136258 through 136298 and 136300 through 136324. And we also have a memo on the follow-up for the sale of the confiscated vehicle that we discussed last month. Is there anything that you would want taken off the consent agenda and discussed separately? Michael, I'll start with you.
No.
Gary?
No.
Gary?
No.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as written.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second?
Further discussion? Michael, anything?
None.
Gary?
None.
Gary?
None.
Okay. The consent agenda is approved as written.
You actually didn't take the vote?
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Consent agenda is approved. This is why I have somebody to
That's
keep me
right, we
honest.
got them.
And I am not at all ashamed, because I screw up all the time. So. Next item is open forum. Anybody wishing to come before the council and speak to any topic whatsoever may do so at this time. Anybody for open forum? None appearing. I will close open forum. Next item is the mayor's report. And got several things I wanted to go over. Next month, we are going to have a special meeting to discuss the VRBO ordinance. We're going to have a special joint meeting with City Council and Planning and Zoning, and that meeting will be starting at 6 o'clock on the 13th, and to discuss issues associated with vacation rentals. Make sure that the date and time is it starts at 6 o'clock. 1 hour prior to the stated meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission. The purpose of the meeting was originally going to be directed for P&Z to rewrite Ordinance 153-100 to not be in conflict with the Crow Wing County ordinance governing short-term rentals. In the past few weeks, I've had discussions with planning, with our planner and city administrator, and the fundamental argument is that the rental ordinance is not really a land use ordinance, but it is a regulation and therefore really belongs to the City Council for resolution. As such, the meeting will still be held, but the focus will now be for the council members, as opposed to P&Z, to define the direction that we want to be going in. Next item, golf carts. I've been still getting complaints, some coming to me personally, about inappropriate driving of golf carts in the city. And again, the major offenders appear to be the youth, driving too fast, too many passengers, etc., generally unsafe. And it's still probably the result of not having enough outside activities to divert their time and energy. And hopefully, with the schools, it may lessen off, but just the other day I was encountered by a group, there's 6 kids on the golf cart and making a lot of noise. I just kind of held my hand for them to slow down. They called me whatever, something. And so it's still a problem, and I'm somewhat reluctant to change the requirements, but we may have to consider modifying the driving specific provisions of the regulation.
Yes.
And so that's something we have to be thinking about over the winter. On the 25th of last month, the administrator and I participated in a broadband discussion with the City of Jenkins, Jenkins Township, Ideal Township, City of Pequot Lakes, City of Lakeshore, Pelican Township, and Pequot School District. The meeting was called by the mayor of the City of Jenkins and coordinated with the Region 5 Economic Development Commission. CTC was also there to present and explain how the system works and what the industry was currently doing. And it was very eye-opening as far as the complexities involved and how it is basically run by the internet system providers for their economic benefit. It's really difficult for them to expand the system and to expand broadband without them having the ability to make additional money on it to make it economically worthwhile. Various things were discussed. One potential option would be for all of the cities and townships in the school boards to become a governing member of the Minnesota Broadband Coalition. And exactly how that functions, I'm not really too sure, but it's obviously it's the coalition that is governing and the operation of the expansion of the broadband. The logistics of this approach would be somewhat complex. However, it would provide a more significant voice in expanding broadband service to the area. Many of the outlying areas really are struggling with their internet service as programs and internet sites get more complex. You need more data transmission to support that. And the data transmission, it's getting exacerbated by a lot of people streaming videos and this kind of stuff. So those people in the outlying areas are really struggling to keep up and have a functional internet service. Next, I did some follow-up on tax forfeit properties basically in answering a question. And so I did follow up on the tax forfeit properties that were left over from the land sale. And after the land sale, we now have 118 parcels, which represents 169 lots, which is significantly down from where we were several years ago. And these are on the over-the-counter list. The downside is that we are currently holding $141,692 in special assessments on those tax forfeit properties. I didn't realize it was that much until I got the adding machine out and added everything up. And also on your table, you have a memo from the administrator on Election Day policies and procedures, as far as if you want to come in and find out the results of the election after the polls close at 8 o'clock. And this will be available. We'll have it sent out to all of the candidates, and it'll also be available here in City Hall for you to look at. Council members, reports. Gary, anything?
I have nothing.
Gary, anything?
No report.
Michael?
Road committee met with the joint effort for the Bushman action. It was a successful meeting again. We're moving closer to publishing a RFP for that study.
Okay, good. Any prognosis when that RFP would be ready, or?
I believe, Patrick, December, I think November we're going to be going out reading in December on the responses.
Okay. And we'll have a response by January.
It's actually on our agenda for later tonight, so.
Do that one more time?
The RFP is actually on our agenda for later tonight.
Okay. Okay, administrator and staff reports. Review and adopt the capital improvement equipment program. You can see in your packet the capital improvement program that has been presented by Joe Zierden. And I will have to say, this is a very good capital improvement program. He's got all of the major capital equipments identified, and my computer's not moving. Identified as to how much they cost. You can see all of those details, as well as pictures and spreadsheets associated with each and every piece of equipment. I have to commend Joe Zierden on putting this all together, because it's very, very thorough, in-depth, and it's easy to understand. Even I can understand it. So that says a lot. Joe, you want to add anything?
No, it's all pretty much spelled out. Shows, everything that's relevant for the budgeting purposes, and gives you a pretty good idea of usage. And then the hours and costs, maintenance costs, we're tracking starting next year. So
Okay.
yeah, that'll help us in the future.
So this basically takes us out to 2026?
35.
35. Takes us all the way out to 2035 for planning purposes, so we can look ahead, see how much money we need to set aside each year, so that when it comes time to buying a new major piece of equipment, we have the money and the funds readily available, and we can basically pay cash for it. And we don't have to go do any bonding. So, thank you, Joe. Any questions on the capital improvement program for Joe? Michael?
I have none. Great job.
No,
Gary?
none other than excellent job, Joe. Very good.
As such, I will entertain a motion to approve the capital improvement program, that's Public Works.
So move.
Second.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Michael?
None.
Okay. Gary?
None.
Gary?
None.
Okay. All those in favor of adopting the capital improvement program, please say aye.
Aye.
Remember that one. Liquor license fees. What we're going to do is discuss the liquor license fees. We have looked at, basically reviewed the comments and everything that we had previously for the liquor license fees, and what is being proposed in which is going to be a resolution coming up is it next month? Yeah, we'll have it on the docket for next month. And in the proposed, as soon as I get to it, in the proposed fee schedule, we are adjusting the highlighted fees that you see there in the list. Golf cart fee, we're proposing to bring that up to $15 or whatever we want to discuss here. The liquor license fees for on sale, off sale, and Sunday on sale would be reduced to $25 each, and the temporary liquor license would remain at $25. This is basically following up to what we had been talking about previously because of the COVID impact on the bars and restaurants, and many other municipalities reduced their liquor license fees. So this is essentially here for discussion. And Gary, this time I'll start with you as far as what we have proposed here.
I have nothing. I support it.
Okay. Gary, anything?
No, I support, I think it's the right thing to do.
Michael?
Just for clarification, are you asking only for discussion on the liquor license itself?
Right now, we're asking, I'm just talking about the liquor license, and you also have this sheet.
Yep.
Essentially, yes.
Nope, this has been something that we've talked about in the past
Yes.
due to
Yeah,
COVID-19, so.
as far as the liquor license goes, you would see the Breezy Point Resort would have a total fee with all of their restaurants and bars for $200. Billy's, because they just have 3, would be $75, Commander would be $75, and Pelican Square would be $25, since they just have whatever, on sale or off sale. I never get the 2 straight. Patrick?
Yes, sir. To just summarize, we have the 4 liquor licenses, the on sale, Sunday on sales, off sale, and the 3-2. Historically, the city has brought in approximately $12,000 in fees, but the city council has talked about for several months about the liquor licenses and when to renew. Some of the counties, other municipalities renewed earlier this year, and so they have a June or an April renewal, and so that's why they took their action earlier in the year. For us, our liquor licenses all of our fees are set at this time of year for 2021, but we actually received the revenue in 20, so it's a little bit of a delay process, and so this is what staff proposed based upon the conversations with city council.
And this
So
has
all
been-
of our liquor license fees will go to $25 per license, and then so there'll be that significant savings to all of our liquor license providers.
With that being said, this is for all liquor license, not just on sale, because if during the pandemic, off sale was still open and for business.
Correct. The reason we did that, though, was because they still had additional costs. They had to bring in additional staff, they had to do cleaning, the plexiglass, and so I did talk with, I had communications with most of the different businesses.
Okay, makes sense. Thank you.
Okay, so what, I guess what I'm looking for here is just agreement on those fees, the liquor license fees, which will be incorporated into the resolution that will be in November.
The resolution for all of our fees will be November. Part of it is we send out notices, and we've had really good response when we do it in October rather than December, and so all the businesses get response. You guys approve in November, and we save a lot of runaround time in
Okay.
December.
So essentially, at this time, we don't really have to have any motion. We've had discussion on it, but all those in favor of the
I can
liquor
learn to
license-
understand you much better if I can get familiar with the way you talk.
Sounded just like my mom. I didn't hit any button, it just popped out.
Thank you, Gary.
Why me?
That's why we have you here.
I know.
Okay, so essentially, if everybody's in agreement with this, I'll basically say if everybody's in agreement with the liquor license proposals, we will have that incorporated into the resolution that was set for approval in November. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. We will have those liquor license fees incorporated into the fees for that'll be up in November. Also listed on there, we have been proposing the golf cart fee be increased to $15. We're probably going to have in excess of 550 golf carts this year. And the administrative costs are such that I think we can warrant the increased cost on the license fee just to handle the administrative costs. And then also, on the next page, you'll see a line item highlighted there for the, where is it? Disc golf rental. We're proposing a $200 reservation fee for the tournaments for basically up to 5 hours. We previously have not been charging anything for that, and it is being very successful, and I think there is some costs involved with the city as far as managing parking and stuff like that. So without any objections, these are what would be incorporated into the resolution for next month. Any comments on either of those, Michael?
Golf cart, no. Disc golf course, yes. You know, I had a chance to look that over and kind of contemplate. You know, we've had a number of tournaments here. The Bemidji Golf Course, which is where, you know, holds a lot of tournaments, they actually don't have a fee to rent it. They have a $250 damage deposit, but that is returned back, and then there's a rental fee if they want to rent like the kitchen or the clubhouse or something like that. I understand though completely though, we are in a situation that we go out and post, you know, no parking signs, make sure that, you know, some of those city streets are cleared out. Long term, we secured a number of lots to hopefully secure those, the parking, that shouldn't be an issue going forward. But we also, you know, do other services such as mowing before the tournament, you know, sweeping them off, the tee pads, cleaning the garbages before and after. So there's a real cost to the city on it. If we were going to keep at the $200 range, which can get steep, you know, if it's only a 50 tournament, you know, participation, you know, that's an extra $4 per player potentially. I would like to see on a kind of, instead of saying up to 5 hours, because those can go longer than the 5 hours, is that it's almost on a per tournament basis. So if it's a single day tournament, they pay the fee. If it's a 2-day tournament, we're not going out there again to do all these activities, so they can, you know, reserve that park if you would. We'd post signs saying, hey, this is reserved, just like we do at the pavilion for these 2 days. I don't think they'll ever see a more than 2-day tournament anytime soon. So I'd like us to kind of reword it to say on a per tournament basis. If it's separated by days, let's say they have one on a Saturday and one the following Saturday, to me that's 2 tournaments. There's a separation of gaps there. So charging 2 fees in that case, in my eyes, would be fine. But if they're holding a Saturday, Sunday tournament, we're only going out there to do activities once. And I don't think it should be 200 plus 200. Or even at that, if they need 10 hours on a day, that's $400. So I'd be in favor of us, you know, rewording that to say on a per tournament, consecutive day tournament, and potentially even looking at that fee. The other side of it too is it is a park. You know, we don't charge people to reserve the playground equipment. We do have minimal fees for the pavilion, but we don't have a lot to do in the pavilion. We post it in saying that it's reserved. We don't do all the extras of mowing and garbage cleanups and everything else that we do at the disc golf course. So I totally understand the real cost to the city on keeping that and maintaining it ready for that specific tournament.
Okay, those are good insights. Gary?
One thing, would it be appropriate to say $200 for a tournament, a maximum of 2 days, to put a limit on it? And what is the entry fee?
Entry fees, vary on the tournament itself. I don't follow that, so I couldn't tell you. I want to say maybe $30 to $50, depending on what your class is. And there's a payout. If you do good, you get a payout from the PDGA.
And what do we receive from that?
We don't receive anything.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm okay with the 200 and just put a limit of 2 days maximum.
The one last thing I'll kind of compare ourselves to is, you know, we have a ball field reservation of $10. We don't have a time limit on that. Somebody can rent it for a whole weekend, have a tournament with entries, we mow it, we maintain it, but it's a $10 fee for that course, for that field. You know, so it's a little bit of a gap between what we're charging between amenities.
You said a $250 for damages, and in escrow or in reserve. Have we ever had any damage at all on the disc golf course?
None from players. We've had obviously tree damage, taking out either tee pads or most specifically targets, but
But the feedback that I've received is that the disc golfers are really good stewards of the park. There's not a lot of garbage. They basically clean up all the garbage that might be laying around and put them into the receptacles. And Joe, I have feedback from Joe that says it's really in good shape when they get done. So,
My thought is it'd be nice to get something from that entry fee. But do any other cities have where they get something from the entry fees?
I do not know. I would doubt it, but I honestly, I can tell you I do not know.
Okay.
the entry fee that they charge is basically for the administrative operation of the tournament itself, as well as the prize money. So if you finish at a certain level, then you get some of these guys they call them pros. They're just like a professional golfer, pays an entry fee, and then they get, the lion's share of the entry fees as a prize.
Okay, I'm fine with the 200 and just put a limitation on the length of time.
So make it $200 maximum for a 2-day tournament.
Yep, I would be in favor of that.
Okay. Gary, comments?
Agreed.
Okay. So the direction will be that for the disc golf course, the fee will be, instead of for tournaments up to 5 hours, it will be for a maximum of 2 days. Okay. And those, I think, that's the only changes that we've had that we have on here. In addition, there's going to be some changes in the equipment rental hour rates that we would charge. And those basically are proposed by Public Works. Just because right now they are really, really cheap. And so we don't that often get requests for equipment rental from another city or anything like that. So those we may see changing a little bit next month, but those will all be detailed. Next item is city council salaries. Did a survey, and Breezy Point is the lowest paid city council in the entire area. It would be $600 per month. And, Cross Lake, $530. Nisswa is $350. Pequot is $350. Plus they get compensation for special meetings and where we don't have that provision. The proposal is that we would be increasing the salaries $50, so it would be $350 for the mayor and $300 for the council members. Any other discussion or any discussion on this?
Yeah, when I ran for city council, I thought it was a public
Service.
public service. I didn't realize we got paid for the thing. But I do see that some of these other cities, to me, $600 is, I don't know what they do, but that's a lot of money. But I think the $50 is reasonable in light of what other cities are.
The city council has not had a pay increase since 2015 was the last one.
June 2nd, 2014.
2014. So I'll take comments. Michael, any comment?
I have no real comment on it. I'm fine where it's at. I'm fine if it goes up. I know I want to say the last time that we talked about it was actually at the 11th hour of an election year, and we postponed it. So I don't know if we want to do that again and wait until June. I mean, take it or leave it. I will make a comment, Mr. Mitchell did point out, Crosby is $600 per month on a mayor, or $550. They actually do meet twice a month. And I know some of us, we have additional meetings, P&Z liaisons, Parks and Recs liaisons, so where it's not just a one meeting a month that, we all attend and we walk away with. Roads and, some of those are during the business day, and some of us take personal time off to take that, and so I'm fine either way.
You have a very strong ambivalence either way.
Yes.
Gary, any comment?
It's been a long time. I think it's merited. That's my thought. Vote me out.
As far as my opinion, when, I think back in 2014, I was on city council, and I enjoyed the job so much, I said I'd do it for nothing, and that's what the paper quoted. And that quote has followed me around since that date. So this is where the rubber meets the road. If we want to, I'll entertain a motion to increase city council salaries by $50 a month. And if anybody wants to make that motion, I'll
Also move.
Second.
go ahead.
You're fine, it's just procedurally, we still have to have the official vote at the November meeting, because it's an ordinance, so we have to publish and go through that process.
Okay.
But I needed direction. I never got a strong feeling either way. I think you were
Okay.
all ambivalent to pro and
So
con.
in other words, we need a motion to
Direct staff
direct
to
staff to,
schedule a public hearing.
okay. The motion would be to public hearing?
It's an ordinance, so yes, we will seek.
Oh, okay, so
public-
we have to have a public hearing. Okay, I got you. So I entertain a motion to direct staff to set public hearing for November and
So move.
to increase
Second.
the salary of $50 per person.
Second.
Okay, second. Further discussion?
Discussion, if people really don't want to see that $50 go towards us, speak their minds and
Okay. Gary, anything?
No.
Gary?
I'll take the pros in the debate.
All those in favor of directing staff to start the process for ordinance change, please say aye.
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 Approved. Park committee, or no, updated use of force policy. There's a policy that has come down from the state that requires cities to adopt a updated use of force policy, and you'll find that listed there. And this essentially is mandated from the state, and each and every city is requested to adopt the policy with either no changes or minimal changes. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. The wording has been handed down to us from the state, and Chief Merschman has just said, let's adopt it as written. So entertain a motion to adopt the use of force policy.
So move.
I've got a question.
What?
I have a question.
Okay, well, let me get the, oh, you have a question before the motion? Or?
Yes. Is this strictly pertain to law enforcement, not citizens?
Yes. Unless you have a policy that is governed under the Police Officers Association or whatever it is. So
So moved.
Michael made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second.
There you go.
Okay, further discussion. Michael?
None.
Gary?
None.
Gary?
None.
All those in favor of adopting the use of force policy, please say aye.
Aye.
Policy is adopted. New squad graphics. We recently just changed our graphics on the new police car with an updated look. And we would like to make the other police cars uniform so that as opposed to waiting for the car to be replaced. So it cost $250 to have the old graphics removed, and the installation of the new graphics is $549 for the total fleet price of $2397. And it's basically just being uniform, make the cars look a little bit nicer. So I'll entertain a motion to update the new squad graphics.
So move.
There's a second. Any discussion? Michael?
Nope, I think it's a great idea to have them all uniform.
I think so too. Gary?
None.
Gary?
None.
All those in favor of the updating the new squad graphics, please say aye.
Aye.
New squad graphics are approved. Park committee appointment. This is one where I screwed up last month. This was supposed to be a motion to adopt it. And in chewing me out for not having the motion, the city administrator noticed that city personnel policy are not allowed to sit on committees as a voting member, but they can be an ex officio member. We had two applicants for the park committee, Connie Maroney and Joe Garcia. And Joe Garcia brought something that was really unique, and I was very much in favor of having Joe sit on the committee as well, because Joe brings the concept of public safety. He's very, very well knowledgeable in that. And so what we're proposing to do is appoint Connie Maroney to the park committee, and then appoint Joe Garcia as an ex officio member to the park committee. And that way we can get the best of both worlds. And again, I have to apologize because I should have had a motion. However, because we screwed up last month, this facilitates us having to back out of it. So I'll entertain a motion then to appoint Connie Maroney as park member and Joe Garcia as ex officio member.
So moved.
Or a second?
Second.
Discussion. Michael?
I believe I'm going to abstain from this vote.
Well, you can vote on your own mother.
I might say no. I don't know.
Gary?
No.
Gary?
None.
All those in favor of appointing Connie Maroney and Joe Garcia to the Park and Rec Committee, please say aye.
Aye.
I'll say aye for Michael. The appointments are approved.
Very good.
Our last item of business is creating and sending out an RFP for IT services. I think everybody's aware that Sourcewell will no longer be providing IT services to local governments effective January 31st. And we have been warned, or basically informed of this quite a while ago. So at this point, we will entertain a motion to direct staff to go out and send out an RFP for IT services.
So move.
Second.
Second. Discussion. Michael, anything?
Nothing further to add.
Gary?
No.
Gary?
No, sir.
Okay. All those in favor of directing staff to send out RFP for IT services, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Staff is directed to send out the RFP. And that concludes our agenda for tonight. Just want to remind everybody again, on October 13th, we have our joint meeting with Planning and Zoning,
At 6 p.m.?
6 p.m.
Okay. Right here. Okay.
right here. We are done.